Hi, welcome everyone. In this one, you will see all the mega projects going on or recently completed in Nigeria. These projects are worth billions of dollars, and we'll be showing you these projects state by state. So if you don't see a project in your state, it will come up in another video. Quickly, let's start from Lagos. There are multi-billion dollar projects going on here. The Lekki Deep Sea Port, which is still on track to be completed in 2023. The Dangote Refinery, wiring works have started in Dangote Refinery. The contractor still believes that the over $12 billion refinery will be completed in 2 months' time. That's first quarter of 2022. There's the Fourth Mainland Bridge. Groundbreaking for the $2.2 billion project will be done any moment from now. There's a smart city project that will make Lagos rival many western cities like New York, London, and others. Now let's see the Lagos Metro project. There's the Blue Line, which will run electric trains. Work is going on at a massive pace. They are working around the clock. There's also the Red Line. There will be a separate video on updates of the Red Line. A lot has changed in the past few months. There are massive stations being built along this line. The Red Line and the Blue Line will be ready by the end of 2022. Now to the most important one. There are massive housing projects being commissioned in Lagos, left, right, and center. There are many projects going on. It's not easy to keep up with development in Lagos. There are just too many projects. You can see more details about these projects in their separate videos. They are listed in the video description. While you are at it, remember to subscribe to our channel and enable notification. Thanks. In Rivers State, Total Energies recently took delivery of the topside for their IKD1 project, which was locally built at the Saipem Yard in Port Harcourt. This is a welcome development. A few years ago, this would have been constructed abroad and shipped to Nigeria. But now, things have changed. More jobs for the Nigerian engineers in the oil and gas industry. There's a 45,000-ton cassava processing plant recently inaugurated in Rivers State. It is a joint venture between Shell and Rivers State, and it will provide a lot of jobs for farmers and also cut down the importation of starch in Nigeria. The 40-kilometer Bodo-Boni Road is still under construction and is expected to be completed in 2022. The terrain is one of the toughest in the world, with a lot of swamps and rivers. When completed, many riverine communities in Rivers State will now be accessible by road. In Port Harcourt, there are many new flyovers recently constructed that will evidently improve the traffic situation in the huge city. Worthy mention is the Real Madrid Football Academy hostel and classrooms, which were recently completed and inaugurated. They are part of the large complex. In Rivers State, 2 elephants are fighting, and you know the result of that. There is no way the Rivers State government can justify the abandonment of the Rivers monorail. This project was started by the last administration. If it wasn't abandoned, it should have been running by now, moving Rivers citizens from one point to the other. Rivers State is not getting their money's worth. Rather, the money already invested in the project is losing value every day. The project is rotting away. Ultimately, it is neither Amechi nor Wike that is losing money, but the citizens of Rivers State. Will the governor abandon this project if it is his personal money that is at stake? You already know the answer. Just like the former governor of Lagos abandoned the Metro Line project, the current one is working hard to make sure they are all completed. The interest of the state should come first before individuals. That's what patriotism means. And government is a continuum. In Kaduna State, there is serious work going on. There are many projects that fall into the Kaduna Urban Renewal Project. There are massive flyovers just like in rivers, bridges, interchanges, and a lot of road projects under rehabilitation and reconstruction. There are also massive private projects going on in Kaduna. Ala Foods will be investing 100 million euros in Kaduna for the development of a modern integrated cattle ranch. AMA Medical Manufacturing just recently completed their factory in Kaduna. It will be the first in northern Nigeria to produce intravenous fluids. There's this recent completed 500,000 ton matrix fertilizer blending plant in Kaduna. Now to the big one, the massive iron ore mining and smelting facility currently nearing completion. They are on a race to be the first company to produce steel from iron ore in Nigeria. Yes, all the steel currently produced in Nigeria do not come from iron ore. Rather, it is from smelting what they call condemned iron. You can check out more about this $700 million massive mining project in Kaduna by watching the top 10 advanced mining projects video. Alright, the Kaduna to Kano railway project is going on. This project deserves its own video. We'll look into that. Anyway, this brings us to Kano. Cargo trains are currently moving containers from Lagos port to Kano and vice versa using the narrow gauge railway. It is a welcome development instead of waiting for the standard gauge section from Ibadan to Kano to be completed. To handle the containers, they are building this Dala Inland Port Terminal in Zawachiki, Kano. It is a massive place, 200 hectares. The Kaduna-Kano rail line will terminate at the container terminal for the meantime. Ultimately, the rail line will connect to the upcoming one that goes to Maradi in Niger Republic. When the standard rail line is completed, passengers and containers can be moved from Warri through the central rail line, although the Tape to Abuja section is still under construction. On the western side, the standard gauge currently terminates in Ibadan. Anyway, you can see detailed videos about ongoing railway projects in the video description. There's also the still on paper 74-kilometer Kano light rail project. The $1.8 billion project, which was awarded to a Chinese firm, has received the approval of Nigerian authorities and the Chinese Exim Bank. This is a project we'll be watching out for and surely be bringing you update when it starts. There's a 20 megawatt gas-fired power plant underway in Kano. Start of operations will depend on when the AKK pipeline is completed. The AKK gas pipeline will supply gas from deep in the south to Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano states. What he mentioned is the 3-level interchange recently commissioned in Kano. It is an impressive piece of engineering and will surely reduce traffic in the huge city of Kano. There are also many federal roads under construction in Kano, like the Kano-Katsina Highway, the Kano-Maiduguri, and many others. It's amazing seeing institutions in Nigeria deploying the latest technology that is obtainable elsewhere in the world. These are world-class simulators recently installed in the Maritime Academy of Nigeria in Akwa Ibom State. Those in the industry no longer need to go abroad for training, as it is now obtainable in Nigeria. Construction works on the deep sea port in Akwa Ibom will hopefully begin next year, as well as the Port City project. The 200,000 barrels per day refinery project by BUA Group is still on course to be built in Akwa Ibom State. There's the car assembly plant, which the groundbreaking was done in 2015. It is now nearing completion. They will be assembling cars and buses just like Lagos recently did. Akwa Ibom is a very rich state. Their oil revenues alone dwarfs the earnings of some states in Nigeria combined. They are investing seriously in tourism and transportation, like the purchase of new Airbus A220s worth $200 million for the Akwa Ibom Air. There's also bridges, flyovers, and roads. They just need to build all urban roads at the same time with covered drainages so that the whole state will look developed. They also need to reduce the white elephant projects. For a state that earned $2.8 billion from the federation account between 2013 and 2017, Akwa Ibom State should be way ahead of other states in terms of development. They should partner more companies to set up shop in Akwa Ibom to manufacture consumer goods for the Nigerian market and even Africa at large, instead of building 4-star hotels and office complexes that are largely empty. There are many projects going on in Anambra State. There's a mini stadium nearing completion, there's the International Conference Center, and the major one, the International Cargo Airport, which has been commissioned, although the airport is still not functional. The reason the airport is not yet operational will come in a separate video. Do subscribe to our channel if you haven't and enable notifications so you will be notified when the video goes live. Anambra recently joined the oil producing states and will start to earn the 13% derivation fund. This will definitely improve the state's earnings, and the governor-elect will definitely expand the economic possibilities in the state. The rice production in Anambra State has risen in the last few years. It is a welcome diversification of the economy of the state. In Anambra, the second Niger Bridge is still ongoing. It is expected to be ready in the next few months. This brings us to Delta State. The second Niger Bridge will connect Delta and Anambra states. There are many oil and gas projects going on in Delta State, notably the recently completed 10,000 barrels per day modular refinery in Kwale, Delta State. They have already started production of diesel and kerosene. Refining of petrol will be coming later. There's the multi-billion naira liquefied petroleum gas and gas gathering plant at Obani, Kwale in Delta State. This project is expected to deliver about 700,000 cubic metric tons of gas daily. Worthy mention is the recent completion of the Warri-Itape Railway and the train yard in Abo, Delta State. Gas pipelines for the AKK gas pipeline project are being transported by rail to locations where they are laying the pipes. There's the massive 20 billion gas revolution industrial park in Ogidigben, Delta State. This massive project will cover 2,700 hectares of land. Plants within the project will include petrochemicals, fertilizer, methanol, and aluminium plants. Although the project is still largely on paper, it is expected to provide 250,000 direct and indirect jobs when completed. Now to the 4 billion naira floating market in Warri North local government area. What do you think, viewers? What's the significance of building a market on a river? How about the riverside to save cost? Anyway, the completed Stephen Keshi Stadium is a nice addition to sports development in Delta State. Imo is very rich in oil and gas. That's why there are many gas projects going on in Imo right now, worth millions of dollars. Seplat and NNPC are building a gas plant worth $700 million. Also, Shell Petroleum Development Company is not left out of the gas rush in Imo, as construction works have started on their 300 million standard cubic feet per day gas plant. Eboma gas metering plant is already completed. The NNPC gas condensate refinery will be built in Imo State. In summary, Imo State GDP will experience a huge jump because of many multi-billion-dollar oil and gas projects going on there. Also, there are many urban renewal projects going on in the state. Owerri, the state capital, has one of the widest roads in Nigeria. So it makes sense to rehabilitate and improve them so that everywhere will look serene and beautiful. Sam Mbakwe laid a lot of foundation in Owerri. So all future administrations, including the current one, should improve the infrastructure in Owerri and the entire Imo State. The federal government recently approved a dam for the Otamiri River. The dam, when completed, will generate up to 10 megawatts of electricity. Worthy mention is the recent completion and commissioning of 5,000 barrels per day Walter Smith Modular Refinery in Imo State. Expansion works to increase the refining capacity to 50,000 barrels per day is now in progress. Remember that the federal government invested $10 million in Walter Smith Refinery to enable them meet their financial goals. Still on refineries, the Edo Modular Refinery was recently completed. The refining capacity is 6,000 barrels per day. They are hoping to start expansion works on the Phase 2, which will push the refining capacity to 20,000 barrels per day. Now to the big one, the Dupont Energy Park, which comprises 10,000 barrels per day modular refinery, a 60 million standard cubic feet per day gas gathering facility, a 50 megawatt power plant, and data analysis center. They are all in different stages of completion, and it is expected to create about 1,500 direct and indirect jobs when fully operational. There's also the completed 55 megawatt CC Tech power plant, which has a power purchase agreement with the Edo State government. This will guarantee constant power supply to many government facilities, streetlights, hospitals, and some industrial clusters. Worthy mention is the new $1 billion Dangote cement plant in Okpella, where they are concluding electrical works in anticipation of pumping 6 million metric tons of cement into the Nigerian market in February 2022. Also, Edo State recently launched a software engineering institute where the youths can learn programming. The place is fully equipped like some tech giants' tech hub around the world. Impressive. In Oyo State, there's a lot of infrastructural projects being built, like the container terminal behind the Ibadan train station, where containers coming from Apapa will be stacked for onward transportation to other neighboring states and cities. It's wonderful that Oyo State is building bus terminals like Lagos. It makes a city look very organized and clean instead of buses parking on the roads. When the bus terminals are completed, they will have something looking like the Oshodi bus terminal or the other one in Ikeja. Worthy mention is the renovation works at Lekon Salami Sports Complex, where they did not focus only on the stadium alone, but other sports like basketball, tennis, and others. Beautiful. In Enugu, the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway is still ongoing. The greater part of the paved sections are actually in Enugu State. Some people feel that the road is taking a lot of time to complete, but that's what it is. When maintenance works are not done on a road, and the road is allowed to deteriorate completely for a very long time, that's the result. There are also some housing estates under construction in Enugu, like the Heliu estate, which is called the New Independence Layout. It's a joint venture between the state and a private company. There's also Gulf Estate Phase 2, Valley Estate, and others. The recent decision of the state government to recover and rehabilitate recreation parks in Enugu is a welcome development. It will improve the serenity of the cold city. It will not be right to end this video without mentioning Ebonyi. Ebonyi State has changed a lot. The whole place, especially the capital city Abakaliki, wears a new look. There are many bridges, flyovers, and interchanges that now dot Ebonyi. In fact, Ebonyi is one of the states that have been able to tap into their natural resources in a way that it is beneficial to the state. Most roads constructed in Ebonyi are paved with concrete, which of course will last up to 40 years or more. There are also plazas and new markets constructed in the capital Abakaliki. Worthy mention is the airport that is still ongoing at the moment. There are many projects going on in Ebonyi that are too numerous to mention here. In fact, Ebonyi is a huge construction site and they are really punching above their weight. Impressive. Wonderful viewers, we hope you enjoy the video. Do subscribe to our channel and enable notification. Thanks for watching.